limit each other's success to one facet of life or one thing they've done, and don't really understand they can multitask and have multi goals and reach different levels. So, I just had to get my guy Black Town on the line. People welcome my brother. You know what I mean? This is like chopping up one of my partners right here. So this
yes,
love.
sir. Yes, sir.
We'll get some game tonight.
Well, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. I think, it's honorable of you as a man of integrity to be able to say, I got fans, I got followers, I'm a man with influence, I have this God-given stage and platform. So what do we do with it, Right. And as we both said, or as you just said, we know each other. We got each other's phone. We can have all kind of private conversation, iron sharpen iron, wisdom swapping, spirituality, praying over our relationships and kids. Right. But that becomes a two-way conversation. Right. Being able to have everybody to tune in and listen in, we're at the height of depression. We're at the height of psychological warfare. We have people that have never had mental health issues ever in their life that's feeling stuff right now and going through stuff because they're just trying to wrap their head around everything that's going on. The divorce rate is high.
Yeah, I see that.
The domestic violence rate is high.
Right.
And that's just a bunch of stuff that people ain't talking about because everything obviously is about, rest in peace, our brother George Floyd and Tamir Rice and Breonna Taylor and just everything that we're dealing with. And, it's almost like wear a mask, but they're not necessarily instructing us on how to go about wearing a mask when there's a lot of people with breathing issues.
Right.
It's like, so I'm just grateful to be on the platform to just give everybody that's tuned in an opportunity, if we can, to say, look, man, we know shit is real out here. And this conversation is not about celebrity status, net worth, albums or movies or projects or all this narcissistic shit that most of us have built our careers on, promoting and advertising what we got coming up. This is us saying, we see you and we feel you and we understand all of these traumas that's happening right now.
You're putting the people first. I feel like that's and it's crazy that you say you talking about like the divorce rates, domestic violence. You got to even think about the kids that are being abused because they're not, they wasn't going to school at the time of the pandemic, so they had to be forced to live in houses where they were already either sexually, molested or abused. And then even just with everything going on in the world right now, I think it's hard for like just even Black parents, like black men trying to raise family. That's a lot of like anger and tension not to be able to go out and work every day to feed your family, and you got to figure it out without any type of assistance. And I think that's unique because people like us, like especially for me, I grew up in a 2-bedroom trailer. That shit was like $3,500. You know what I'm saying, for the whole home. And I was optimistic about making it out of there. And I went through so many different levels of what people might call success and people might call setbacks, but it taught me a lot. So even with times like now, I'm calm because I understand it always gets better, greater later, but I understand how to like maintain, fall back on things.
We know how to revert back to top ramen.
Right. Hey, matter of fact, I had some earlier today, baby.
Yes, sir. No, I want to give everybody tuning in a quick spiel with a couple things that I've never said publicly. I was born and raised in Watts, South Central LA, right next to Compton. Before I got on, my city, Watts, was only known for the Watts riots, the 1965 Watts Rebellion. The president at the time had to call Dr. Martin Luther King in from Atlanta into Watts to give speeches and try and calm people down because things was that off the hook. And that's the kind of vulnerabilities that I was born into. I was actually born at Martin Luther King Hospital. They named the hospital after him because of what he did for Watts in the height of the Watts Rebellion.
Wow. So the hospital was named after him because he came and he.
Yeah, because everything was being burned down because of the same thing we're dealing with now. Right. Police corruption, excessive force, murder.
Did you feel that? Like, was you like a youngster and you was seeing everything going on?
It happened in 65 and I was born in 78. I'm 41.
Right.
Right. So to be born into a city where every story and everything you do and everywhere you go, all of your parents or anyone that was living in the community around that time, those are all the stories because that's what the city is known for. So when
it's not to get misconstrued, because for some reason when you were saying that, the first thing came to my mind was the Rodney King riots. Okay, so this is
Rodney King happened in LA.
Right.
We were looting in South Central LA and we were looting everywhere.
Got it.
But we were looting in South Central because of what they did to Rodney King and how all of them officers got off. So that was like round 2, round 3,
right.
round
and it's
4.
Crazy. It's crazy because that's right where we at now.
Right.
Wow.
And so that's what I was born into. And when the Watts riots of 1965 went down, it was specific to Watts. And when the Rodney King thing went down, we was burning down shit everywhere.
Right.
It wasn't just it. Yeah, it was Inglewood, Compton, Watts, Long Beach.
Right.
Everywhere. Yeah, it was
on CNN everywhere. Let me get a quick like getting into it quick for those who don't understand. What was the Watts riots about? Like what was that tension for?
The Watts riots was about exactly what we're dealing with now, which is
okay.
Excessive force, murder, racism, cover up, you know, just various different things that we were dealing with in the hood in Watts. And it just got to that breaking point where we like, man, fuck this.
Right. Damn, that just happened in Watts. So the rest of LA being affected as much as what was going on in Watts, and that's why the tension happened in Watts.
I think the Watts riots was specific to Watts, but obviously there were other places that were in the inner city that was still being burned down. But the majority of the shit that went down was in Watts. That's why they didn't call it the LA riots. They said
Watts
riots because Watts was burned down to the ground.
Right. So you got Young Ty coming out of Watts. He's inspiring to be. Like, what's your mindset? Like, you come out of Watts, this history.
Well, I mean, you know, the thing is, long before I discovered what my actual talent was, or what God was going to use me for, or what my entry point was going to be, everything for me was just about survival. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I used to walk to school, I went to Locke High School in Watts, and I used to have to walk through like 10 hoods. Me and my family had every form of public aid. We had WIC vouchers. We had county checks. My mom's made us go to Social Security building and play like we had some type of learning problems, or we was retarded or whatever, so that we can get Social Security checks. We had food stamps. My mom's was working under the table at multiple restaurants, single mom, raising 4. And she became an alcoholic for 27 years. My pops was an alcoholic, crackhead. I mean, every level of dysfunction imaginable.
Right.
In Watts, there's cripping, there's blood, and there's SA gangs, prostitution, murder, police excessive force. You know, there's rape, there's molestation, there's playing basketball with the homie on a Wednesday, he's dead on Thursday.
Right.
I've been shot at multiple times. I've had multiple attempted murders on my life. You know, and then you realize quickly that it's hard to focus on talent. It's hard to focus on visions and goals and whatever God may put on your heart to do or accomplish when literally you're just trying to survive.
Right.
So
That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother mindset. Is
that's it.
because yeah, because you don't even you're not even. I remember I used to be like sitting on my auntie's porch, and my whole thing was like, how can I get past this mailbox? How many steps can I make it past the mailbox before something bad or crazy happen?
Yeah.
Um,
I never forget one time I was on my way home. I think we went to go see Minister Society. Matter of fact, we was standing on the corner, probably 1 a.m. in the morning. Just me and him. We was on the street called Central and Century, right across from the park that I got discovered at. Standing on the corner, pressing the button. This is long before they put cameras on every corner. And we standing there talking, just talking about the movie. Next thing you know, there was one car at the light. This is in the middle of a big intersection. Light turns green for them. They're about to turn forward. We just there talking. Yo, man, the movie was crazy, whatever. Next thing you know, we look up. We see this Latino dude literally hanging physically out the window. Fuck you, puto! Click. His gun jammed.
wow.
We ran, fell on the floor. What the fuck? We just seen the car pull off. We seen the nigga slowly but surely get back in the car. And then me and my nigga just kind of went in two different directions and said, if these niggas decide they may have identified us, they may have taken our license plate number down, let's go circle back and try and kill these niggas because the gun jammed.
Right.
We broke, nigga. I said, yo, go that way. And we just
right.
It was like boys in the hood.
You gotta know it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in my mind, as you guys are tuned in, listening to this story, we just first want to take this off the table. Because me and Jeezy will be on here for another 6 hours just talking about near-death experiences, pains and traumas, mental health issues, and just pressures and things that we've had to overcome to get here. The worst thing you can say to me or my brother Jeezy, you've only gotten this far in your life because you're talented, you handsome, you fly, you got muscles, or whatever the fuck people may try and do to diminish.
Right. Minimize.
Don't minimize or diminish what it actually takes to get on and stay on when we understand it's a million rappers out here, million singers, a million producers. But when that real shit hits you throughout your childhood, after you get on, where you're dealing with street politics, whether it's Crips, Bloods, whatever, I'm focused on what I'm trying to do and the records I'm trying to sell. And I got all these different things, whether I put it on myself or rather I'm on the receiving end of it.
Right.
It's just shit that I'm dealing with.
Right.
And when you're dealing with it, most people get taken out. And we're not talking about death. We're talking about I can't deal with the pressures of all this stuff.
Right.
And so rather I'm talented, rather I got dreams and ambitions and goals, all this stuff took me out.
Yeah, that's the thing though, because it's crazy because that's where that survival mechanism that you was brought up on kicks in. Because for me, I done been through so much shit, like you can name it. I can probably make 10 movies, but to me, it's all a game that you can't lose because it ain't like you can put another quarterback in. You know what I'm saying? Like you lost, it's a wrap. And I've seen so many. I had homies that, I had love, a lot of respect for them. I seen them, go to jail, come home and become crackheads. I seen, people just lose their mind because they couldn't take the pressure. I seen people resort to, alcohol, suicide, you name it. And my gift, more so than the music, and you're right. I don't like when people say you wouldn't be here because of that. No, it's all the other stuff that got me here. The music is just a small piece of who I am, but the survival instinct came from what I went through. So now, like, and going back to where we at now, right now in this point of time, it's like I'm in survival mode every day. Like, I don't even wake up and feel the pandemic. I look at like it's almost like you reverting back to the hood and you just going, okay, this is what I got to do to survive. So for me, it's more so about, you know, survival and keeping my dreams going, even though everything else has pretty much paused in the world. Because a lot of people can't deal with that. And you'll probably see that in the next, you know, 8 to 12 months. A lot of cats from Wall Street, you know, probably, you know, taking their own life or just flipping out because they don't know how to.
See, the suicide rate is up too. And I will say this. People will say, yeah, easy for you to say, if I had money, I'd be dealing with the pandemic a little differently too. Okay. So let's put a pin in that for a second. Prior to the pandemic, a multi-millionaire named Robin Williams killed himself. A woman worth about 600 million named Kate Spade, prior to the pandemic, killed herself. The good brother from CNN, Anthony Bourdain, multi-millionaire, traveling the world as Dave Chappelle opened up his show, saying he had all of the luxuries in life. Why would anybody want to kill themselves? See, mental health, stress, and traumas that become unbearable is the actual reason that people will kill themselves. We lost our brother. We lost our brother.
That one more time for the people in the back.
Okay, yeah. So mental health, traumas, psychological warfare. Whether you're a millionaire, billionaire, whether you got the house on the hill, the mega yacht, the private plane, all the things that you can find yourself saying, my life is fucked up. I don't want to live no more. If I had that, I'd be better. When you get that, most people can't handle that. Because here's the thing. If you don't get your shit together, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and psychologically, when the money and the materialistic things and the pressure shows up,
it gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yes, sir.
Because everything about God thrusting you into that level that you claim that you're ready for. Most of the people on this page will create usernames and passwords and live online hiding under an alias talking shit about our life. They want our life, but the moment that they deal with something there locally where they got people in their neighborhood talking shit, a rumor has it, you this, you that, because your family doing something, you ain't even on the blogs and you ain't even dealing with national headlines. And you want to kill yourself.
Deep.
Imagine getting thrusted into this level where everything you say and do, people are hiding behind alias, creating blogs with usernames and passwords, talking shit about your life. Can you handle it?
As if whatever they're doing is better, or they got it that much figured out. Crazy.
They got an opinion about what we doing and how we doing it and who we doing it with. But if the roles were to reverse, they would have killed themselves a long time ago.
But that's a lot of people weren't born with that survival.
It goes back to the survival instinct. Let me get some water real quick. Hold on.
Sir.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, no, it goes back to that survival instinct, brother. Like, I thank God for it every day. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Every day. Every day. Flip boys, what's up, baby?
Oh yeah, we gotta shout out all of our followers, man. They all listening in.
Who's that? Who checking in? Where you checking in from? Shout it out now. Let me see what you got.
Put your city up, baby. Put your city up, baby.
Cleveland, what's up? Okay. Cleveland in the house. Yeah, I mean, you know,
a lot of people don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, but I think more than
because let me tell you something. Let me tell you the story of my life. And this is for you and this is for everybody tuned in. I don't remember the last time I lost sleep over a hater.
Right.
I'm 7,000 flights and many sleepless nights into this lifestyle.
Talk that.
Fuck you. Fuck you for running around here trying to formulate an opinion about what I'm doing, when, where, and how I'm doing it. Now, I understand I'm a public figure. And I understand that when you're a public figure, you're going to have people who have thoughts and critiques and feedback, tearing you down, building you up. I understand the process. But I want people to understand that if you got so much shit to say, go do it better.
Right. What the boys say, everybody want to tell you how they do how to do it like they done it first. You know what I mean?
Everybody want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die to get there.
Right. I mean, for me, I really like reflect on all the times. I understand it come with the territory, and my uncle used to tell me, man, when they stop talking is when you should worry. But one thing one thing that I did realize, because I used to be one of them type of cats to be like, what, that's just my mentality coming straight from the block. It's just like, I'm just deal with it the way I know how, and that was by force. But when I started realizing, like, the less I care about, like, another man's opinion is not my reality. You know what I'm saying? It just can't be, because of that I have a million realities. But once I started to realize what people say about me don't matter, and if it doesn't correlate with my dreams and my goals, it doesn't matter anyway, because it's not good advice, whatever it is. But once I realized that, my whole life, it's like being in the room and they just knocked down all four walls. You can see as far as the eye can see, and it was like a realization, like, it's just me. Win, lose, or draw, whatever decision I make, you know what I'm saying, whatever turn I decide to take, but it's got me this far. I took some L's, I had some W's, but it's me. And I can look in the mirror.
There's some public L's, some private L's that niggas will never know about.
I can look in the mirror every morning and feel, good about me. Like I ain't did nothing that degrades my integrity. And then the real part is, and going back to, like, letting people box you in, I'd rather do things the way I do them, meaning, like, just live in my own world and get my dreams and my goals done, because that's my fulfillment. That's what keeps me going. And I'd rather kill them with success around the board. And I'd rather lead by example and show cats, like, you could be from the hood, you can do music, but you can still do this. You know what I'm saying? You can be from the hood, but you can still be that. You feel what I'm saying? You can be from the block and listen to you talk about what you went through and watch, and seeing you, like, on big screen movies and moving the way you do. It's just like, that's every ghetto kid's dream, to make it out and be something, and somebody that's truly them. So I just
but that comes with that comes with protecting my one Tyrese at all costs.
That's right. You're a star player, baby.
This is all I got.
You gotta protect your star player, man.
This is all I got. Let me tell y'all something, man. I never claimed to be the biggest star. I have not sold more records than most of the people that's been in the game as long as me. I ain't won a Grammy to this day. Multiple nominations. I got $8 billion of box office receipts on my name. I've had my highs. I've had my lows. I'm probably the only person in the comments and on this IG Live with an 8-minute crying video on the internet.
Wow. Real talk.
I wake up every single day and I said, I need to be the best version of Tyrese that I can be, because I just got one.
Right.
It's all I got.
Right.
I can't swap it. I can't change it. I ain't finna light-skinned it. I ain't finna change the complexion of it. I ain't finna go implant it.
We stuck.
This me, bro. This is it right here.
We stuck.
And here's the thing. I've realized as well that there's a lot of people that thrive on being competitive, where they lose a lot of sleep over what somebody else is doing. Listen, man, I've seen so many people sell so many more records than me, way more number ones, way more success. And I look at what God was doing when I had those moments of trying to compare my life, my career, my status, my relevancy, my irrelevancy, and all of the shit that we deal with. And then I'm looking at my life and I'm saying, damn, I'm still here.
Right.
I'm still here. Like these dudes that I'm like, man, that man killing. They gone.
Right.
I'm
You see him float back down the river, baby. You see him swim up, float back down.
So what I will say to everybody watching this, I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to be Jeezy. I want you to understand that what we've done represents what's possible.
That's right.
But run your race, bro. Pray your prayers. What are your visions and your ideas for what you want to do? Who is your wife? When do you want to have kids? What's your play? What sacrifices are you willing to make? Stop getting how they wearing their head like, yo, you sheep. That's why you ain't winning. You ain't figured out your individuality. And this is what I pride myself on. And I'm gonna leave you with this before we move on. I'm in your face because I want you to feel it. I go to sleep every night, secure in my own skin with these words: God will never give you something somebody else is supposed to have.
That's right. That's right. And if he
God
did,
will never give you.
It ain't for you.
I don't want nobody else's records. I don't want nobody else's movies. There may be a movie that I really want, but if somebody else gets it, it may ain't got nothing to do with how great of a job I did for the audition or the relationships I had. They may say, yo, we had to give it to him because he won the Oscar. Right. You got an Oscar? I ain't got an Oscar. I felt like I could have done a better job in the movie, even though I ain't got an Oscar. It wasn't your fucking movie. Move on.
Keep it moving.
The turtle wins the race. God will never give you something somebody else is supposed to have. Stop comparing notes. Stop losing sleep over somebody else's shit. And when you get it, whether you prayed for it or somebody else prayed for it, when you get it, the question is, can you handle it?
Right. Can you maintain it?
Can you maintain it? Or you gonna be another millionaire?
Are you gonna lose it mentally?
Or you gonna be another millionaire who say this is too much for me? I gotta kill myself.
Damn right. Come on, man. Come on with it. But I had to get you on here, man, so you can talk to the people. You know what I mean? Worth a conversation, man. We appreciate the game. I appreciate you, my brother.
Come on, man.
We got it. I gotta pull up on you soon, man. We got to get together, man.
Hey, man. First of all, there's this thing called Southern hospitality, man. Until I get you at my front door, man, you know, and you've been over here. But I got, you know, I got, you came over when it was an event. It was a quick handshake. And I'm like, yo, man, I got to get my bro over here, man. I got to walk you around and have a real moment.
I'm coming sooner than late. I got to see the red room.
Yeah. We both got red rooms. I tell you that.
Hey, but I appreciate you, brother. And I want to leave y'all with this in closing, man. I had to get my guy on here, man, because we've been through, you know, several similarities when it comes to trials and tribulations, man. And you gotta always believe things are possible, and know that just because you're in your surroundings, that doesn't mean you can't make it to where you're trying to go. Because when I was coming up, if I would have looked at the things around me and stuck with that, you wouldn't have no Jeezy. You wouldn't have, you know, you wouldn't have a Tyrese. You wouldn't have, you know, black men out here like us trying to push the envelope